The difference between being respected and being liked. What is the difference? Why does one matter more than the other? Well, I'm going to break it down for you. And for starters, because this is such an absolutely crucial message that will alter and change your life forever, I'm hoping that anybody who listens to this right now, I'm hoping that you really digest what I'm about to say. First of all, being liked feels good. There's no question. Being respected is dangerous. It's dangerous and it's uncomfortable. And I'm going to get into why. I feel as though most people choose being liked over being respected because it's comfortable. Whereas being respected, it's not only uncomfortable, but along with respect comes authority, not power. Notice I said authority. We're going to get into that in a minute. But respect is achieved differently than being liked. And the way that I could break this down for you is simple. First of all, respect is something that's earned. Nobody earns being liked. You might think you do, but you don't. It's given freely from people. And they make the decision because it's based on agreeableness. So when people are around you and they like you, the reason why is because most of the time they agree with things you say. They maybe have similar views as you. There are some things that you have in common. And so for that reason, they like you. And so they freely offer up their likeness to you. It's not really earned. It's more their decision. And basically, the idea of being liked is predicated on personality alone. You could have no influence and people could still like you. But there's a cost to being respected. A real genuine cost. Respect is people acknowledging your boundaries and your competence. And that's huge. They might like you, but do they acknowledge your competence and do they acknowledge your boundaries? And if they don't, then they don't respect you. They might like you, and in some cases even love you. But the bottom line is, that is the difference between whether or not they're respecting you and whether or not they're liking you. How do you earn respect? You earn it through consistency. Respect is earned through consistency. Likability just comes from agreeableness. You know, respect is people's response to your behavior. Do you understand what I mean? So it's not, oh, we like you. It's we've watched you over the long term. And because you've been consistent with your boundaries and because you've been consistent with your morals or your viewpoints, the way you view the world, your worldview, because you've been consistent for these reasons, we respect you. And also, if you are achieving or you're accumulating wealth or you're building something, a business, you're successful in some sort of area, and it's done through your consistency, people respect that. And that is something that is earned over the long term. Now, the reason why this is so important to understand the difference is because being liked by people is the avoidance of conflict. Whereas respect or being respected by somebody can survive conflict. Now, this is very crucial because a lot of men in their relationships that I talk to, many men that speak to me on a regular basis, they get upset because they feel like their woman doesn't respect them. My woman doesn't respect me. And there's a reason for that. And it goes the other way too. There's a lot of men that don't respect their women. They might love you, they might like you, but there's a lack of respect. And the reason why that is because what they're expecting from you to get respect is for you to remain consistent over the long term. That's the biggest and most broadest part of it. So in other words, if a woman goes out with you and your viewpoint is, or your worldview is, I need to go to the gym every day and I need to eat healthy and I need to go to sleep at the same time every night. And she might say, but babe, I want you to come out to the club with me. Come out to the club with me. And he might be like, no, I'm not coming to the club with you because I need to go to bed early. She might be, well, what about we should go to a movie today. I can't go to a movie. I have to go to work out or I have to go run my business. She might start to get upset because she's feeling neglected. But the problem that's happening in this dynamic is that she is seeking validation, which is being liked. And what happens is in that moment is the man could decide, well, I don't want my girl to feel unliked. So I'm going to change my routine. I'm going to alter my worldview to appease her and make her feel liked. And once you do that, you will become liked by your girlfriend, but you'll no longer become respected. And the problem with a lot of people, male or female, depending on whoever they're dating, is that they say they want to be in a relationship with somebody quality. But the problem is that if you're with someone that's quality, it's not going to always be fun. It's going to have a lot of moments that really suck. And the reason why that is because they are not trying to be liked by you. They are trying to be respected by you. And their boundaries and their worldview and their competence is more important over the long term to be able to achieve that level of respect from you than it is to be liked by you. And that's a problem for the vast majority of people because they want to be liked by their partner and they want to like their partner. But a real healthy relationship is two people respecting each other. And you can like and respect at the same time, but just understand that respect, once it's earned, never fades. Likability changes. And the reason why that is because of the liking is conditional because it's based on mood. Whereas respect is conditional because it's based on standards. One more time for the people in the back. Being liked is conditional because it hinges upon mood. Being respected is conditional because it hinges upon standards. Two different things. And what a lot of people fail to realize is that in that moment that you are being challenged by your partner, where they're feeling like, you're not going to do this with me. Oh, I don't like you. You're not doing something to make me happy right now. You're going to go do something instead that'll make me respect you in the long term. And that's ultimately what's happening in this dynamic. And what you have to understand is that likability is a mood. Your partner can be in a moment of not liking you. It's not the end of the world. The mood will change. But what you don't want is to wind up in a marriage over the long term with somebody who doesn't respect you. And if you cave every time your partner has a mood change because you're trying to appease them and make them like you, you are breaking the consistency over the long term that will allow them in the long term to respect you. Now, it is possible to meet a partner that would like you and respect you in that moment. And what I mean is it's possible to be in a relationship with somebody who respects you, but also likes the things about you that they respect. So if you have a partner that says, I don't care if you go to a movie with me, I like that you go to the gym, I like that you choose instead to go to work, then you struck gold. And that is the thing that people have a difficulty finding, is somebody that doesn't base their value of you on their random mood swings from day to day, but instead likes and loves the things about you that they also respect. And that's what causes respect to compound over time, which is different than likability, which just fluctuates daily. And of course, respect, is more hinged upon your performance, your long-term routine. Whereas likability changes with emotion. And this is such a core thing that people need to pay more attention to. Because let's take the average person, even if you're single. If you're on Facebook and you're posting stuff because you're trying to be liked, I want people to like me, so I'm going to say this or I'm going to say that. But over the long term, even though you're developing fans who like you, that is so finite, because the moment you do something they don't like, they no longer like you. And that's another reason for being honest, because trying to be liked creates passive-aggressive behavior. People who are passive-aggressive care too much about being liked because you don't want to confront someone. You're afraid of how it might hurt your relationship or how it might affect your friendship or whatever the situation may be. And that passive aggression is unhealthy and horrible. Whereas people who are very confrontational and go right towards the issue and say exactly what's on their mind, not caring about how it can affect the relationship, those are people that are after respect over being liked. Because people who want to be liked are chasing approval. People who want to be respected are chasing after people respecting boundaries. They're looking for respect because they want to set up boundaries and know that you've or they might have already set up boundaries, but they want to know that you respect them, that you see those boundaries and you respect them. And that is so much more valuable in this world than approval, because approval fades. It blurs lines. It requires validation over and over and over again. Whereas respect requires clarity. It defines the lines instead of blurring them. It defines the lines. And that is incredibly important. But the reason why so many people choose to be liked over being respected is because it's safer and more comfortable. Because being respected often means you're not going to be liked. And also, being respected, it's lonelier. So much more lonelier because it creates a distance from you and people because you're no longer seeking that approval and that validation. So it separates you from the crowd. It's colder, you know? You become more ostracized, whereas being liked, it includes you. You have friends. You get that warmth, that comfort zone. And as responsibility increases from being respected, social ease decreases. And then this results in, like, the more decisions you make that affect other people, the less universally liked you become, and the more respect replaces familiarity. And that is when suddenly people are no longer judging you anymore on whether they like you. They become detached. Their mood and their emotion no longer defines what they think of you. At this point, only your daily consistent actions define what they think of you. Only your performance defines what they think of you. Only your consistency and lack of hypocrisy defines what they think of you. Only your competence defines what they think of you. And so that's a scary place to arrive at, because when that happens, you are now solely and 100% being judged on your performance. How cool you are and how agreeable you are no longer has an impact. And that's a very unsafe place to be for most people, because now most people can't live up to those standards. Most people can't live up to that consistent level of standards. And because they can't live up to that, they would rather quit. They would rather stop playing the game of being respected and cave altogether and go right after just, you know what? I'd rather just have friends. I'd rather just be liked. That way I can eat all I want. I can gain all the weight I want. I can be as unhealthy as I want. I can get drunk as often as I feel like. I can party as much as I want. I can not care about my money as much as I want. Be irresponsible with my finances. I can make all these mistakes, but it doesn't matter. People love me. And there's a comfort to that. Whereas when you cut off all of that comfort and you trade it all in for just respect, you have to live at a much higher level of performance. But, and this is where I really want to hit this one out of the park, when you do that, you get what they call authority, not power. People only seek money and power when they're not liked. People who feel insecure because they tried to be liked and it wasn't working and they didn't feel liked or validated enough, they are the ones who go after money and power. And they do it because they want to punish the people who didn't like them. They say, well, when I have all the power, we'll see. We'll see. You didn't want to like me? Watch what happens now. Or when I have all the money, which, we know money can equate to power. When I have all the money, then it doesn't matter if you like me. I'll get what I want from everybody because I have money. They want to leverage money and power to be liked, or to force you to give them what they want without you having to like them or respect them. That's what the problem is with power and money, is that the people who chase it are people that are weak. And I'm not saying that it's not good to go after money. We all should want to live a fruitful life. Money should always be, the mean, but not the end. It's a means to an end. So there's nothing wrong with trying to get money, but to the people who just can't stop getting more and more and more of it, where money is the end and not the means, where it becomes the sole focus of every day, there's a reason for that. And the reason for that is they need to have so much of it because they equate power with their money. The more money they have, the more power they have. And the more power they have over people, they can make you perform for them, whether you like them or respect them. So to them, it's bypassing being liked or being respected. And it's a cheat code. But the truth of the matter is, there are so many people who've died unliked and without money or power. But they had authority because they were respected. Respect is something that, or authority is something that is achieved over the long term with consistency. People respect consistency, and over time, it turns into authority. And authority will always reign supreme over power. All throughout history, we've seen that. Power is flimsy. It doesn't last. For the moment, it makes you scary, but it's only a matter of time before your power goes away. And it's only a matter of time before your money doesn't mean anything. It's only a matter of time before you become dethroned. Someone eventually has more money than you. Someone eventually has more power than you. And this is the reason why that game is it doesn't have any value. Being liked doesn't have any value. And chasing after being liked is no different than chasing after money or chasing after power. The thing that is so important to learn is that when you're disciplined, when you're committed, when you're willing to self-sacrifice for things greater than yourself, and you do these things over and over again, in the long run, you will achieve the one thing that is more important than everything, and that's respect. And that respect turns into authority. And authority will always supersede power in the long run. But it's uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable. And you got to get out of your comfort zone to achieve it. Anyway, my name is Tom Kane. This was another episode of the Executive's Playbook. I hope you'll like the video. Subscribe. Hit the little bell so you can be notified when I make another video. And again, if anybody hears any of these things that I say and you're moved by it at all, or you look at life differently, or you feel like you've grown from anything I've said, that's the sole reason why I do this. Anyways, thank you guys. I appreciate you all. I am out.